Hi, everyone. It's Sue Ann Sylvester with Coldwell Banker Realty in beautiful Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. I hope you are all safe, sane, and well. So right now, while we are sheltering in place, I'm sure you've been dreaming of other places you would love to shelter, and in spectacular places like Hawaii. So are you ready to live the dream? I want to introduce you to Tom Tezak. He is a top agent in Maui at Maui Lifestyle Real Estate, and he's here to entice us with the aloha lifestyle. Tom, thank you for joining us.
It's absolutely my pleasure, Sue Ann. And just to be clear, I work with Wailea Realty, Windermere, Maui, and Maui. My team is Lifestyle Maui, just to make sure we're compliant. You know, as realtors, we like to be compliant.
True, true.
So yeah, Maui is an amazing place. I have been here for about 20 years and relocated, just like we're talking to some of these folks right now. I relocated from Joliet, Illinois with a dream. And, you know, our team's slogan is we are selling the dream, and, you know, life is precious and make it count. So we have helped so many people find their way here, whether it's part-time or full-time.
And this move meant a lot to you because when you were in Illinois, your career was?
I had a few careers. I was a deputy coroner for 7 years. I had a retail store, and I also was a realtor. So I did a lot.
So I just think that after living life as a coroner, you want to live life to the fullest now.
Yes, you know what? I sure do. And that gave me the, I woke up one day with being happily married with a little baby, and my wife and I, after traveling to Maui several times, said we just don't want to wake up in Joliet, Illinois anymore. And as a realtor, it gave me that freedom and flexibility to pack the bags and just move. And it was a scary plan when we decided to move. We had one child. By the time we actually got on the plane, we had another one that was 3 months old. So it's been an amazing journey.
I kind of think that this pandemic's going to be life-changing for a lot of people, cathartic, and that we all might want to be making some big changes in our lives.
Absolutely. You know, and I think I know that personally I've been doing some soul searching and trying to think what's most important, what's not important, what do I care about, what don't I care about anymore. And it's funny how many people I have spoken to that have said that's been going through their mind. You know, I think I'm a little bit older. I'm having accomplished things. Some of those things that 10 and 20 years ago were so important really don't matter anymore. And what I realize is I want to explore, I want to enjoy, and I want to be with my family. And I would love to sell real estate, don't get me wrong, but making it all work together is so much fun. And being somewhere where you love to be is pretty amazing.
It's so rewarding when you find the perfect house for someone and you know how much they're going to love it there.
Yes, I agree 100%. And we have so many choices in Maui. It's been gives us lots of options. And we are a little bit more of an expensive market to start with, but you know, we have entry level, we have waterfront, we have, if you want a $50 million house, I can find you one of those. But if you want a, you know, a $300,000 condo, we can find you one of those too.
So you're in the southern section of Maui, right? The Wailea. Tell me what you cover.
So yeah, my market is, I predominantly cover South Maui, Wailea, Makena, and Kihei. But then my team covers the rest of the island with the exception of Hana, which is our, you know, the road to Hana you may have heard about. That is something we don't, that's outside of our turf. It's just too far and we can't do a good job. But between myself and my two other team members, we can definitely cover most of the island.
Right. So I know you've got some photos that you can share. Maybe talk a little bit about the lifestyle and what you and your family love doing, what's popular. We know golf, but I'm sure there's so much more.
Yeah, so, you know, the picture that, right now, all of the pictures that you'll see are my screenshots, are photos that I've taken here on Maui, and I wanted to just share some of that with you. So this beach you're looking at right now is what we call Kamaoli Beach Park 3. You can see, oops, it's just a beautiful spot. Right in front of the grass is a beautiful beach, great for swimming, snorkeling right out on those rocks that you see out there. So, and that's from where my original house was about a 4 or 5 minute walk. It's about a 10-minute ride now because they just relocated in the middle of a golf course. But let me show you some other, just some ideas of where we have as I'm jumping onto my virtual, my backdrops. This one is a sunset in McKenna, just really gorgeous. Again, our sunsets are spectacular because we have the opportunity to look at islands in the outskirts, and it is tropical. It is beautiful. The weather is about 82 degrees every day, plus or minus 6 degrees. Cold here is 74. Hot here is 92. It's never been 100 degrees, and it's never, it never gets into the 50s. So it truly is a beautiful climate. If somebody says, oh, I love the seasons, then we might not be the right spot for them.
Right.
There's plenty of beautiful places, and I know you're talking to so many people in the world that are having other options. Again, sunsets in Maui are truly spectacular. But let me show you, I'm just looking for some of my other photos here. But it's not just all about the beach. It's also, we have this amazing flora and fauna. Oops, sorry about that.
Another house sale.
Another house sale, there you go.
Another house sale.
So we have, we have bamboo forests, we have rainforests, we have these amazing waterfalls that you can see in the bamboo forest. And this is you can see my wife. That's me and my wife, but that's a giant rainbow eucalyptus tree. So many different things that you can do. And besides that, as far as lifestyle, you can be out on the water and be boating and fishing. And that's an amazing opportunity. This is one of my favorite pictures. All those rocks that you think you see out there, those are all turtles.
Another house.
Another house. Those are all turtles that you see out in the background.
Oh, wow. Look at
all of those things right there that you're seeing on the sand are turtles. So then these turtles come there and hang out every day at the same beach, and there's people that are the guards, and they sit there and keep the turtles safe. And right now there's probably about, 20 turtles on that beach that you're looking at. So as far as lifestyle goes, it's it's an amazing opportunity. But then let's talk about real estate. So this is a home that was just under contract for around $4 million. Another picture of it, and just completely beautifully built, wide open, indoor-outdoor living. And so that's a pretty typical home that you can find in the newer version. But let's say you'd say, hey, $4 million, that's beautiful, but not what I can do. Then there's something like this in Wailea. That's probably about $1.5 million, $1.7 million house. But in Kihei, you can buy something really similar to that for probably $700,000 or $800,000 or $900,000, just to give you an idea.
That sounds wonderful. Do most of them have pools, or do they just, are they centered around ocean activity?
Over $1 million, most of the properties are going to have a pool. Under $1 million, some will, most of them don't. But let me show you, this is a property we just sold. Now this is a condo. It was built in the 70s. It's a pretty basic unit, but it allows vacation rentals. We just closed on this for $650,000. And you can literally, from the front door, be at that beach that we started at in probably a 5-minute walk, 4-minute walk. It's right there. So, I'm showing the really expensive stuff, but we have a vast array of choices of what you can buy, just depending on what your needs are. In our market, we allow vacation rentals on select condominiums. Homes, you cannot do vacation rentals, or what some people call Airbnb or VRBO. So it's just a choice of what they want. Some people will buy a second home and say, I don't want anybody sleeping in my bed, and that's okay. And they'll spend $300,000 or $400,000. Some will spend $3 or $4 million. It's just really what you're comfortable with. What we have a lot of choices and a lot of options.
And the great thing is, no matter what home you buy, you still have everything that Maui offers you can enjoy. So it's all there for the taking. What do you like to do with your kids? Do you go out and go paddleboarding, snorkeling? What are your favorite things?
So my kids now, when they were younger, well, I was younger too, I guess.
Yeah.
We would go to the beach. We would go paddleboarding. We had a lot of fun doing that. They're now both older. One of them was in New York City in college, and the other one was a school teacher in Nicaragua. She's now in San Diego in a condo there, just teaching from there. So this pandemic has made us make some life changes. My little girl, who's almost 20, is a sophomore at NYU, and she now has to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to school because that's the nature of the pandemic. But we love to be outside, and that's the thing. We love to hike. There was, if you saw the windmills on one of the pictures from that we shot, there's a beautiful hike that goes up to the windmills. In Maui, what is nice, and you'd said it, although the house prices are all over the board, there are so many things that you don't have to pay for. You can go paddling, you can go swimming, you can go to the beach and hang out, you can go hiking. There's a vast array of flora and fauna that you can explore. You can go up to the top of Haleakala. What's really fascinating about Maui is there's 13 microclimates in Maui. Oh. So if you say, hey, I'm not too keen on being in the 80s all the time, that's okay. We'll take you up country, which we call up country, to Makawao and Kula, where you can have a home where it might be 70s. And if you go up a little higher, 70s or 80s, but it gets cool at night. You have to have a blanket. And then when we get up the hill 2,800 feet in elevation, then all of a sudden you have to have some kind of heat source because it can get too cold. So you have to have a fireplace or, a wood stove. So there's a lot of variety. You can go to parts of the island that it's a rainforest where it's damp and moist, and there's people that love that. There's another town, and I love it. It's a Hawaiian name. It's called Pukalani, and that's up country. And the Hawaiian translation for Pukalani is Puka means whole, and Lani means sky. So it's whole in the sky, and it's sunny there all the time, but yet you're up the hill. So there's just such a variety of different places that you can get the kind of climate you want. Some rain, a lot of rain, no rain. We have where I live, I'm in what they call a Pacific Island arid desert. But from the road, from in front of my house, I can look across the valley and see, so we have about 10 to 12 inches of rain a year. I can look across the valley and see a place where there's 300 to 350 inches of rain a year. So from one of the driest spots in the world, I can see one of the wettest spots in the world. So wow. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool. So.
And then I love the fact that the flights to nearby islands are not that expensive. So you can do a little island hopping and get a taste of other islands. And speaking of taste, the food in Maui is amazing. And I even love the food trucks.
Yes, we have years ago when food trucks first started, I used to do food truck reviews, videos, but we have some great food trucks. Some of my favorite places to eat are at the food trucks, and there's lots of choices. And that's the other thing, it's not like everything, all the meals are, $100 a plate. You can go, we have, the standard fast food restaurants. We have some great take and carry out places, some of the best local cuisine that you can find. And it's all, a short drive away.
The best pokey.
The best.
Absolutely. So we're learning a lot from other agents who are in second home markets about how to survive during the pandemic and do virtual tours. So you've been doing this for years, right? Tell me about how you've been showing homes and where your clients may be that you have to give them great tours.
Yeah, so I've been doing showings, virtually for 18 years. I think I sold my first property sight unseen with photographs 18 years ago. Now we do it much more with utilizing technology, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime or WhatsApp. I've used every one of those platforms to sell homes, and I probably sell, up until this pandemic, I usually sell 3 to 5 homes a year, sight unseen. So it is not a new task. It's something we do. It really relies more on the consumer being comfortable with it than me being comfortable with it. And I think now with how everybody is Zooming everywhere, then they're getting so comfortable working in Zoom, family time in Zoom, family reunions, birthday, that buying your second home via Zoom is going to become a lot easier. Now, in a perfect world, would I rather have you be right with me in my car looking around? Absolutely. That's not possible. But there's some great opportunities in our market right now because there aren't a whole lot of people here. It's difficult to get to the resort communities, whether it's Maui or South Florida. You can still be a buyer and create a relationship. I always like to have a really great interview with my buyers and understand what they're looking for, not just have them say, oh, I saw this house online and I want to look at that. It's like, wait. What do you want? Why do you like that? Because I know that house that they saw online might be sitting next to a busy road, or there might be a house that might be in disrepair next door, and they don't show that stuff very well online. Yeah, you can go on Google Earth and sort of poke around, but they're not necessarily current. What I've gained is that trust from my clients is that they know that I'm not just trying to sell them a property. I'm trying to make sure that they make a great decision and help them and be their eyes and ears on the ground.
Absolutely. That's hard. I just closed today on the first house with a buyer who I've never met and who never saw the house. And we've been looking for 2 years, but we found him the perfect house, and he's very excited about it.
I love it. It all comes down to trust, right? And them being, the consumers being comfortable with that, they realize that you understand what's really important for them, and also that you understand or are pointing out things that they may not have thought about. That's one of the things.
And our reputation comes first.
Yep.
So, yep, that's something you can't repair. Well, how are things going in Maui in terms of the coronavirus? Are you guys out and about and enjoying? If I'm going to shelter in place, I'd be very happy, maybe taking a walk along the beach. How's things
so
going?
We are. I'm going to take you to the beach just because.
Ooh.
We are doing well. We've had some political interesting things happening. We've had our mayor fighting with the governor, and keep in mind we're island, so we're really super independent. It's not like anybody's driving anywhere. So there's been some political fun, we'll call it. But all in all, I think our folks that are here, the beaches were open, then they closed the beaches for exercise only, and then the governor said no exercise, and then the people in Maui filed a petition, and the mayor said, look, I'm going to let people exercise on the beach. I don't care what the governor says. I'm going to tell my police officers not to write tickets. So, we're working through it. Things are starting to open up. We have a 14-day quarantine currently. If you get off a plane in Maui, no matter if you're a resident or a visitor, you're a 14-day quarantine. So it's a little bit challenging, but all of that is starting to loosen up. The golf course opened up today. Restaurants are going to start to probably open up in a couple of weeks. But all of that being said, the business, the activity in real estate, which is what we're really here to talk about, besides why you should be in Maui or somewhere warm, in the month of March, just in South Maui, the month of March, we got really beat up, and we had only 17 sales or pendings, I should say. So it really softened. And then it went really crazy. The first 2 weeks of April, we had 0 sales, which is that's not typical. But as people started to get comfortable with the new norm, all of a sudden buyers started saying, hey, I think this might be an opportunity. Because there's not very many buyers out, there's still property. We started to see a little activity. So from about the 14th to the 20th, there were 3 sales. And then as my loan officer said, holy cow, somebody just flipped the light switch, because from April 20th to April 30th, we had 23 sales. So the market is active. It's still not like it was, but I think that there are people who are saying, hey, there's opportunity. I've had a couple deals that were falling apart that we kept together. The sellers had to be a little bit more flexible than we had maybe renegotiated. But there's opportunity, and business is still happening. It's just happening a little bit different than we were used to, like everywhere else in the country.
Definitely. But I do think that as people start to rethink where they want to live, and they can work from home, because we've all realized now you can actually work from home.
Yes.
So if you don't have to commute into New York City or whatever, wherever you are, and you can work anywhere, why wouldn't you work from Maui or so many of these other great places? I think that the real estate market's going to change. I think things will be different about how we live and how we work.
I agree. And we have a lot of people that telecommute, a lot of the, computer industries and internet companies and project presentation companies. We've got a lot of people that are here now telecommuting. So I think we're going to see our population by design, by nature, is pretty young. Even our older population is active adults, because it's just the way the world seems to go. But we're starting to see, I believe we'll see a younger population come in because of the ability to telecommute. So
yeah, I think you're definitely right. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining me. I wish I were with you. And thanks.
So sorry about
house.
that. There's another bar.
But thanks for sharing the dream, Tom. And to everyone out there, if you are thinking of moving, I can introduce you to so many great agents all over the country, just like Tom. We've gotten to know each other through the Tom Ferry Elite Real Estate Coaching Program. Top agents all over the country. We connect, we share information, and we refer our clients to the top agents, whether it's in Maui or I've done an interview in Maui and Cape Coral, so many wonderful places. So Tom, thank you so much. And in the meantime, everyone, stay home, stay sane, well, and keep dreaming. Thanks, Tom.
Sue Ann, it was great to be with you. Aloha.
Aloha.